Farmlands define areas that players can purchase in-game, serving as the foundation for property ownership and land management. These farmlands are painted onto the terrain using info layers and are assigned a unique index to distinguish them from one another. The size of each farmland is calculated automatically based on the percentage of the total map area it occupies. Beyond the visual and structural definition of farmlands, their gameplay properties are controlled through the farmlands.xml file. This file specifies key elements such as price per hectare and whether certain farmlands are already owned by the player when starting a game with Start Farm enabled. In some cases, pre-placed objects, such as buildings, factories, or storage facilities, may be present on a farmland. To reflect their added value, the price scale of that farmland can be increased accordingly. Additionally, NPC ownership can be assigned within the farmlands.xml, allowing specific areas to be managed by AI characters instead of the player. One important exception to note is non-buyable farmland. Certain areas, such as vehicle shops, selling stations, or other essential game locations, should be marked as non-purchasable to prevent unintended gameplay mechanics. These areas remain part of the map but are excluded from the player's land acquisition options. By carefully setting up farmlands and their attributes, we can create a balanced economic system in the game, ensuring fair pricing, logical ownership distribution, and a well-structured property system. Pressing the designated icon opens the Terrain Info Layer Paint mode on the right panel. To begin painting farmlands, we need to select farmlands from the available layers. Starting with Farmland 1, we select it from the drop-down menu and paint the entire info layer to assign all land to Farmland 1. This means that, at this stage, the entire map could be purchased by the player as a single farmland. However, as we learned earlier, we can use the Repaint Fields to Farmlands function, which ensures that each farmland corresponds to only one field, a requirement that must be followed. Since we currently have only one field, this isn't an issue, but as we continue customizing the map or if additional fields have already been added, we must create separate farmlands for each of them. To define multiple farmlands, we use the drop-down menu to select Farmland 2 and paint a specific area onto the info layer where we want Farmland 2 to be located. We repeat this process for Farmland 3, Farmland 4, Farmland 5, and so on, ensuring that each field has its corresponding farmland assigned. As mentioned earlier, it is also important to define non-buyable farmland for specific areas that should not be available for purchase. These could include roads, selling stations, special landmarks like ponds, or any other non-purchasable locations. To do this, we scroll to the bottom of the drop-down menu, select Not Buyable, and paint the designated areas accordingly. This step is flexible and can be done at any time during the map creation process. By carefully assigning farmlands and non-buyable areas, we create a well-structured property system that ensures smooth gameplay and logical land distribution in the Giants editor. When we open our map in the game, we can navigate to the map overview, select the farmlands we created, and purchase them just as a player would in a standard game. This allows us to verify that all farmlands have been correctly assigned and function as intended. To set a specific price for each farmland, we need to adjust the price per hectare in the farmlands.xml file. The total cost of a farmland is calculated based on its size, so by modifying the price per hectare, we can fine-tune the land's value to match the intended economy of the map. A good practice is to compare the price per hectare with the total size of each farmland, ensuring that land prices remain balanced and fair for gameplay. If a farmland includes additional structures, resources, or valuable assets, such as factories or storage buildings, the price can be scaled up accordingly to reflect its added value. By carefully setting farmland prices, we create a more immersive and realistic economic system, giving players meaningful choices when expanding their farm operations.